So, ladies and gentlemen, the Malian military, Mali as a nation, will be launching a military exercise very soon, where a lot of countries will be invited. Trust me, Russians are coming. I don't know if the United States will be in this occasion, but ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be one of the few, if there have been any at all, military exercise in Africa. You are going to see some empire real estate equipment that you've not seen before. The Malians have not even, deployed some of this equipment. According to what I've even hearing, Russia is actually building a strategic bomber. It has been on display, right? They've actually not talked about the country they are building. They've actually built it. They've tested the bomber. It's like a modified bomber. Like, it's not a fighter jet. They call it it's an Su-35 that was modified into something that can carry some heavy payload. So a lot of people are saying that this equipment will be coming to Mali. That if you look at the color, right, that is the same color of this fighter jet modified into a bomber. It's the same color with what the type of aircrafts, the military aircraft that the Malians use in their counter-terrorism operation. Now, you are going to be seeing some Chinese equipment. They've actually started moving those equipment. Those equipment are on their way to Bamako. A lot of people have been seeing it today. You've actually seen this equipment, and according to what they said, why is it not that the Malian government actually defended the convoy that was somehow sabotaged by the terrorists and all of that? Why are they seeing the equipment now? We have to understand something. This equipment were not deployed because the training has not been completed on how to use this equipment. Those equipment are actually very solid equipment. We will be watching. We will actually bring the information about the the military exercise to you. Mali is landlocked, so definitely is going to be the Air Force on display. Is going to be like infantry marching. You are going to see the armor tanks. You're going to see the MRPs. We're going to see a lot of equipment on display. But ladies and gentlemen, until then, we'll have to see. And I won't be shocked equally if we see some type of ballistics. I won't be surprised if we watch that military exercise and we are seeing ballistics being displayed. But ladies and gentlemen, until then, we will be in the loop and we will be very opportune to bring you the information as it drops. So we have a critical information that we have to talk about. But before we get to that, let's talk about the information that the government media has just released, that the citizens need to beware of disinformation. According to them, disinformation is a weapon of war aimed at sowing fear, division, and confusion. Don't be an easy target. That is what the Malian government are telling the public, that for every information that goes out there, there is an interest. For every interest, there's an intention. And for every intention, there is a target. So are you going to be the target? It is in your own discretion to make that decision if you want to be an easy target of the enemy. Because, if I'm really if I want to do something now, right, I don't need to blow the cover. I don't need to blow some trumpet about what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to get out of there. So, all these informations that you see out there, they have an intention. The intention is to spread panic, to spread fear, to make it look like, Africans can do nothing on their own. That is just what I'm trying to tell you, right? And we have to understand that freedom, liberation is in phases. The higher you go, the tougher it becomes. Now, when you're about to get to the finish line, that is when your mental is going to be tested. The Malians are actually fighting. We have to understand that Mali has a lot of strategic resources that could actually elevate the country beyond imagination, beyond our imagination. Even me that I'm talking to you, right? But it is equally important that we need to understand that this fight for the liberation of Mali, it's not Mali's fight alone. Everybody needs to contribute. Recently, we saw some, news about Malians actually saying the Mauritanians did not support, they did not help in any way. I am proud to be a Nigerian supporting the freedom of Mali right now. It's far away from home, but I am supporting the people of Mali. I'm supporting the people of Burkina Faso. I'm supporting the people of Niger. I'm supporting the people of Africa generally, because it is my responsibility to do that. So we debunk, we bring you information from the front line, we do everything we can, right? But the billion-dollar question is, the same people that bring this information that goes out there to get training from professionals on how to spread disinformation campaign, they're equally African too. So it's a question of, who are you? You have to ask that person a question, okay? I don't spread propaganda. I don't put panic in people. I don't put fear. We only preach the gospel of truth, right? We don't preach doom. And if you notice the way the African media works, maybe it's the way the Western media kind of make the way they kind of shape on the African media, the message of doom flies faster. When you hear, 100 troops, everybody, but that is not what we do here, okay? So the Malians have actually said, don't be an easy target. A word is enough for the wise, It's an emotional energy you don't need to waste. You can go to True Mamali. There's another channel that talks about the development that is going on in the Sahel. She has about 30 something thousand subscribers, but what you will notice is that she doesn't get the required number of views, because she's spreading the good news about the Sahel, right? And these things, the type of they would hardly fly, but people that builds propaganda, that talks good about the Sahel and throw a little bit of dig, maybe once in a while they use the word junta, maybe once in a while they talk bad about Pan-Africanists and all of that, don't be the target. That's just what I'm trying to say. So that is that with that. Now, there is a post out there that we all must look at. This is the main information of today. And please, we need to, every contribution, every comment is important, right? It will help us build momentum going forward on how we are going to approach this information, what steps we are going to take, because I am not small. Whatever we do here is considerable, is significant. We are being noticed. In case you don't know, I receive a lot of message. We are being noticed. So let's go. A Washington Post article from September 14th, 2025 confirms the US has ramped up intelligence sharing with the Malian government to counter extremists in the Sahel. This is a critical breaking information, right? Whatever decision come out of here will be a consequential decision, right? But we need to calm down a little bit and think this through, okay? Citing the US officials, it doesn't mention training proposals or explicit efforts to displace Russian ties, though Mali has Russian partnership, and the United States government has now given the green light to the CIA to share critical intelligence with the Malian government. Now, first of all, let us remember that Assimi Goïta got a significant training from Tampa, right? Tampa, Florida, right? We need to understand that Assimi Goïta is a true son of Africa. And everything he has done so far so good is in the interest of the people of Mali. It's in the total interest of the people of Mali. But unfortunately, we live in a world and in an era where the truth hardly flies. We have to understand, right? Assimi Goïta has done a great job for the people of Mali. I have said something before. It might not sit well with a lot of people, that the more Fulanis you have, the bigger your problem is. I'm just being honest. Look, if you're a Fulani on my channel, you don't agree with me, it is my opinion, right? We don't have to agree. Every Nigerian on this platform is on the same page with me. I can bet anything with it. The more Fulani you have in your region, in anywhere you are, there is a 70% chance that one day will come. Maybe you expect it, maybe you are not expecting it. A very big insurrection will come up. I'm sorry if you're a Fulani person and you support this channel. I'm not saying there are no good Fulani people. I'm just saying, from what we've seen in Nigeria, from what we've seen in the Sahel, Mali has a lot of Fulani people. Mali has, you know, majority of the Malians, I think they are Fulanis, right? They are good Fulani people. But majority, a significant chunk of the population is like, they have a very significant tendencies to be extremists, to be radicalists, to be jihadists. We have to be very, very clear on that. And it's so unfortunate that, you know, I would have wanted Assimi Goïta in my country. I would have wanted Ibrahim Traore in my country. So in case some of those people don't really understand the God's gift, the free gift that God gave them, right? If we have any of those presidents in my country, man, Nigeria will not wait a second to look at whoever. We will forge ahead to the skies. Like, we will protect this man with every blood and sweat and tears that we have. But it's unfortunate that, you know, because these terrorists are equally, majority of them are Malians. The JNIM, they are Malian Fulanis. Case closed, simple. Because you have to understand, it is not only the intelligence sharing by the funders of those people that actually gives them the capacity to run their activities in the extremities of the country. You know, they run it in the border regions. But you don't hear this in the major cities of Mali. No, they don't try this in the major cities of Mali. The equipments are too much. The military might is too much. They can't do it. But we have to understand that the Malian territory is very, very big. Very, very big. And the population is less than 25 million. How God? How are they going to be able to do that? Now, when you look at Nigeria, a country of the population census say Nigeria is over 200 and something. No, Nigeria is above 300 million. I'm just being honest with you. Regardless of whatever thing you are hearing online, Nigeria is over 300 million. And if everybody has to be honest, Nigeria should be tipping the scale of 400 million. We are going there. That's why you see Bill Gates saying all this type of thing. So we would have loved a situation where we have good leaders like this. We have the resources, we have the human intelligence, we have the skill, we have the population. We would have loved a leader like this. So for every of the terrorists out there that are still doing this, you have now come to a consequential point now. Because now, look, I do believe a lot of people said it's a dangerous move that if the Malians accept the proposal of the US to share intelligence. Now, I got to say this. I don't know if this post is a propaganda, but if It is official. You can ask from Grok, you can ask from any, mainstream sources out there. They've actually claimed that the US have actually given, they've actually, given the, verified that proposal. Now, the verification of this proposal is coming after the sabotage attack on the Malian energy, the tankers that were coming from Guinea, that got ambushed and all of that, right? So you have to look at the timeline of everything, how everything is going and all of that. This could be a trap. Actually, I know a lot of people said it could be a trap too. Yeah, it could be, and it might not be. And Mali could have done this by itself, but the rules of engagement of the international law and whatever we are hearing, and the enemies of the state, if Mali wants to follow these rules, this will be a long contest, right? Now we have to equally think about something. Who was sharing if the US has now given a green light to the CIA to share critical intel with the Malian government, or the Malian military rather, what intelligence? Maybe they have intelligence on some politicians that have actually been funding this, like they did to Nigeria, and Nigerian government didn't do anything about it. They actually released a lot of names of people that were supporting Boko Haram. Saudi Arabia did also. That is in the purview of Nigeria to do whatever they can. But for the CIA to join now, the Russian intelligence agency, they are helping the Malians and all of that, but these are external intelligence agencies. The people within Mali that are actually involved in this terrorism, they are indigenous, so they know the terrains. If the intelligence sharing will give the Malians the opportunity to destroy a large chunk of those people, and remember, they can't destroy those people without creating some collateral damage. I don't know how you feel about that, but today is not the pity party session. Today is the time for us to, like, sometimes we have to be able to tell ourselves the bone truth, and the bone truth is you can't crush this extremist without crushing some people along with them. They have wives, they have kids. Some of them, where they camp, they have their families with them there, that cooks for them, that do a lot of things for them. So I don't know if you guys remember once upon a time when the United Nations, whatever, where they released the statements that the Malian government actually hit some innocent civilians and all of that. Those civilians were not innocent. They were the family members of the terrorists that were living along with the terrorists. They were all neutralized together in an airborne raid. So no matter what, if the Malians really want to do this job, man, the ground will have to be full. I don't know how they are going to do it. That is how, even me, when I think about the possibility, because if you say you want to educate and de-radicalize those people, you are not going to survive it. In Nigeria, the moment the whole de-radicalization and repentant terrorist thing came to board, the whole north has now turned to a terrorist safe haven. They had a peace deal yesterday in Nigeria. If you see the way the bandits came in Katsina, if you see the way the bandits came in with bullets and guns all over, and today they've kidnapped 40 people. Today, as I'm speaking to you, the 15th of September. So Mali still has a chance. And the chance I think it has is because it's not negotiating with the terrorists. And in my own opinion, don't negotiate. There is only one way. Whatever resources it has should be spent in the complete destruction and annihilation of the terrorists. And we must understand, you can't let your human emotion overcome you or overwhelm you in the situation. You need people that can take critical decision, because this is a desperate time and it needs desperate measures. You don't have to have an emotional sense here. I'm like, oh, because once I post pictures, sometimes a lot of people say, the African people, they were reverse engineered mentally. If you were reverse engineered mentally, and you were reversed to the point where you can look at your fellow brothers and sisters and you can pump lead into them, you should be ready for the consequence that come after. But I don't know if the Malians should accept it. I don't know if they should reject it. The question is, what is the bargaining chip? What does the United States government want? We've heard that they say they want minerals, they want lithium, they want gold, for intelligence sharing. I don't know if it's for intelligence sharing or training or stuff like that, but according to verified information, there was nothing like sharing. There was nothing like selling of equipment. It is only going to just be ISR. Guys, what do you think? Give me your opinion. Let me tell you something. Terrorists are bad people with bad intention. But the antidote to that are equally good people that were trained to execute the worst type of intentions. The disinformation campaign is to make it look like the government cannot undo their problem by themselves internally. We are saying the Malians are capable.